Okay, latest. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN. The Eagles are releasing Deon Cain. Had a strong
Wow.
preseason, so he will have options, according to Fowler, which we all saw. It's a shame. He didn't have a great last game, but all in all, he had a good camp. Certainly worthy of being on an NFL roster somewhere.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
So I think he will be grabbed up. But that's the latest. Sorry, welcome back in, everybody. Trying to get that power bar down during the break. Man, that was some speed eating right there. All right, so a couple things from the Eagles discussion that we talked about a little bit earlier. So if you're just jumping on, Barrett and Derek had a pretty interesting debate of how they think, or kind of what they're hearing, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is going to be used. So the initial thought is you slide him right in there in that safety spot opposite Marcus Epps. But Barrett, you're thinking he plays the nickel corner and Avonte Maddox goes to the safety position. So Barrett, why don't you start with why you think that's going to be what they do? And Derek, tell us what you're hearing after that. Go ahead, Barrett.
I think it'll be an easier transition for him. He's going into a system where he doesn't know the terminology. He doesn't know the defense. We know that Maddox knows the defense. He knows the terminology. He can go in and play safety because he can figure out where he stands and where he's supposed to be at because he's played alongside these guys before he understands it. When he comes in, when CJ comes in, he can just play slot. Slot is like, all right, you got him. Or, he knows the basic fundamentals of playing the slot position. If he's going to have to learn a whole different position, you wait till later on to teach him that. You have somebody that already knows the system go back. Plus, I think that he might be better at that position. He might be better at going out there and really playing more aggressive in the slot. He may be a better slot guy than Avonte Maddox. I mean, that could be the case also.
That deal's official, by the way. The Eagles have put out a release also. So I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt you, Barrett.
No, that's basically what it is. I just think he'll be a better slot.
All right. And Derek, what you're hearing here is it will be just the safety drop. He goes right in that spot where Anthony Harris had occupied.
Initially, his tenure will start as safety. I mean, they're down 2 safeties right now. We all thought, now we know Maddox is a very talented individual. We thought he would be a better outside corner a few years ago. That was not the case. His lack of height played against him. His niche is playing that slot right now, and so from what I'm told, what I was told a few hours ago is initially CJ would come in here and start at the safety position. They feel he can make that natural transition in a short amount of time to get ready for what's to come in less than 2 weeks, which is the season opener. So you put him alongside Epps, you got 2 solid corners, and let's face it, these guys they can help get him up to speed in a hurry in terms of what he needs to do. They can initially simplify a lot of the things he would have to do in the back end until they get comfortable with him and he gets comfortable with the guys he's playing with. I would say don't move Maddox. Maddox is right where he needs to be. This is the perfect niche for him. This is his claim to fame right now, is playing that slot and get some of these quicker receivers. I'm not saying the new guy can't do it, but I'm saying in terms of natural transition, everything I'm being told is that putting him at that safety spot is where they need him the most right now.
Okay. All right. Look, I think it's going to be fascinating, and we know that there's some versatility there, which is great. That you don't have to just straight pigeonhole guys in certain spots. Yeah. That's for sure. All right. So let's jump around the league a little bit here. First off, let's talk about a trade that was kind of interesting. Laviska Shenault goes to the Panthers from the Jacksonville Jaguars. They add another weapon there. And actually, Baker Mayfield does not have bad receivers in totality. He's got actually pretty good ones with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson and, some of Terrence Marshall and now Laviska Shenault. He's got pretty good weapons out there.
I like Laviska. I remember he was coming out of Colorado. Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys, jack of all trades. He's played in the slot. He played gadget plays. He was a return man. He did a lot in that Colorado offense, and really made him a better player. A better team because of him. He was just that explosive. They put him everywhere on the field. So that is a good pickup for him.
Yeah, no question.
The problem with him was he never really panned out down in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
He was projected to be this physical 50-50 type receiver. I think he got caught up in that mess with Urban Myers down there and just messed his game all as it did with a lot of players down there with all the stuff that was going on, especially off the field, more so than on the field. And I think he just got lost in the shuffle. I think Carolina got a steal in getting this guy. Baker Mayfield gets another weapon. I like what Matt Rule did. And obviously, Matt Rule feels this is a guy that can fit his system with that collection of receivers they have. And you can't have enough pass catchers in today's game. So I think he will get somewhat reborn in Carolina.
Yeah, well said. Well said. All right. So that's an interesting trade. So some names that have been released. Josh Gordon, who was trying to make another comeback with the Chiefs, has been released. By all accounts, it was nothing off the field. It was just, a numbers thing. And maybe he just doesn't have it anymore.
Who'd you say?
Josh
Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
The receiver.
Yeah.
So,
Which is interesting when you consider you lose a receiver the caliber of a Tyreek Hill. You're looking for as many pass catchers as possible to help overcome that deficit. Josh Gordon, even though he's had like 25,000 chances in the NFL, is still a pretty good receiver.
Yeah.
Fast receiver, good hands receiver, physical receiver. And the fact that he couldn't stick in Andy Reid's system is a telling tale when you're looking at Marcus Valdez-Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster as your primary receivers outside of Travis Kelce with that Chiefs organization. So if he couldn't play for Andy Reid, you wonder if that was his last chance in the NFL because his body is relatively healthy. It's not like he's a beat-up body. Right. He hasn't played much football. So
despite the age,
that's it. Yeah,
good point. Some other names here. O.J. Howard, the former Buccaneer tight end, was released by the Bills. That surprised me a little bit. I thought he'd be able to at least make their team, right?
Right.
So if you're a team in need of a tight end, I would certainly be, making a call to his agent, considering that at least. Philip Lindsay, the running back who's kind of bounced around lately, formerly of the Broncos and Colts, was released by the Colts. So he's out there. I don't know how much there's left, and he's a smaller guy. If I'm the Eagles, that's not
what you're looking for.
Yeah,
yeah,
probably not what I'm looking at. Good news here on Brian Robinson. So apparently, the bullet went through his knee and didn't hit any major arteries or ligaments. I mean, this is crazy, but it kind of went in and out pretty clean, and that's why they think he may play this year. That's unbelievable.
He had 2 bullets hit him.
Yeah, the other one apparently didn't do a lot of damage either.
No. And Ron Rivera came out yesterday, I believe it was, and said there's a slight possibility he could play again in 2022, which would be an incredible comeback story if that was the case.
Yeah, no question.
Considering, I don't where you get shot. The man was shot.
Unbelievable.
Minding his own business. And, man, I tell you what, it shows you how precious life is, man. You just don't know minute to minute.
Yeah.
That's a shame that happened to a young kid like that. Had a lot of promise.
No doubt.
But the good thing is he's on the mend. That's the most important thing.
Hey, let me give you a bit of a surprise here. Eagles cut from Jeff McClain. He just tweeted this out, and you follow him at Jeff __ McClain. Excuse me. Eagles releasing Jack Anderson, according to Anderson's agent. That's a bit of a surprise. We went through the O-line yesterday, and I thought he was going to make it as you did as well. I know you.
Yeah, I thought because he plays all 3 positions.
Yeah,
guard, center, and tackle. Young guy came in under their, guy they brought in. I'm surprised that I'm very surprised that
he'll be playing football with somebody real soon.
Yeah, he will be.
Unless the Eagles can sneak him on the practice squad, but you're right. I don't think he'll pass the waivers.
I think somebody grabs him up real fast. So that one, okay, that kind of caught your attention a little bit on that one for sure. And like I said, we're an hour and 50 minutes away from this thing, so we'll find out. There haven't been a ton of offensive line cuts though. As I look, like LaRaven Clark, Anderson. Tom
got cut,
pretty much I think that's it right now, right? So
it'll probably be Covey and Cain might be some of the last guys cut. They're gonna be the last, maybe
they're on hold until if and when something happens with Reagor.
Right,
exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It feels that way because they're both not going to be here. I mean, there's one of them's going, likely both if Rager's still here. But hey, we'll see. Again, as we get this stuff, we will we'll pass it along for sure. But right now they've cut Tart, Tom, Strong, Huntley, Blackwell, Wren, Rogers, Ward, Harris, Sennett, Allen, Strong, McCain, Clark, Wilson, Goodrich, Gowan, and Anderson. That's who's gone.
Yeah, no major surprises except Anderson so far.
Right. Yeah. No major surprise. So this is interesting. I read this morning, and this is on the heels of all the praise that we're giving Howie Roseman for his aggression, for the offseason that he's had, et cetera, et cetera. But they did another one of these polls among NFL agents. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Howie was once again voted least trustworthy GM by the agents in the league. Like, for whatever it's worth. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing it out there, all things considered. Least trustworthy. What a weird list that is, but, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, if you're great, that's what happens. If you're good at what you do, you're supposed to be a slimy type of guy when you're. I mean, that's the persona. It's you can't trust them. And all. I mean, even the locker room. That's how they're looked at a lot of the times. Like, oh, he's untrustworthy. We can't trust him. I mean, he's going to do this. He doesn't care about us. That's we've always had that. Type of mindset about the GM. I mean, look at what happened to B-Dog,
right?
And that whole situation with the GM then. I mean, that's how do you let a guy like that leave? How? And he's regretted it ever since. What's his name?
Joe Banner. Banner
he said publicly.
Yeah, and Joe doesn't often give you the "if I could do it over again." That's not really Joe's style. But that is one that he admits they made a mistake with, because Joe was very caught up in the around 30-year-old range thing, and if you were around that age, you were gone. And I think they wish that wasn't across the board, that kind of thing,
right?
Back then, to put it nicely. So anyway, I just throwing it out there. I thought that was kind of interesting that was on a day where we're celebrating him so much, and rightfully so. that the agents are still not there. But you know what? Hey, whatever. It's kind of like anybody in charge. Most bosses are going to have detractors. What I mean? Not every teacher is beloved across the board. There's going to be certain students who you had to get on who don't love you all that much.
Exactly.
So it is what it is.
I remember my old algebra teacher. I forget her name, but she was on me, and it was so bad that she didn't like me so much that each one of my brothers she got on too. Because of me. Like I remember my last brother. She comes up and she's she's going through the list. Then she gets down to Aaron Brooks.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, me. He's like, he said here. He's like, are you any kin to Barrett and Phillip?
No.
He's like, yeah, those are my brothers. You come right up here. You come sit down over here. That's what you come sit right next to me. I'm like, he's like, what did you do to her? I'm like, I don't remember, but something.
I don't remember, but something. Okay.
Yeah, something I did. I don't know.
I love it. All right, this story a little bit more serious and speaks to our society, I guess. But as if this hasn't been a bad enough year for Calvin Ridley. Did you guys see this? He was part of this crime ring that is targeting certain houses in the Atlanta area.
What?
His was one of them.
Come on, man.
Yeah, so a prosecutor on Monday announced a sprawling indictment targeting members of what she said is a violent street gang that's been targeting Atlanta area homes of famous athletes. That includes Calvin Ridley, other entertainers as well, and people who this is what they flaunt expensive possessions on social media. So anyway, Ridley, singer Mariah Carey, Atlanta United goaltender Brad Guzan, Marlo Hampton of the Real Housewives of Atlanta have all had their homes broken into, according to this indictment.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he broke into his crib, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
My goodness.
Yeah. It said the crimes alleged in the indictment are carjacking. This is all by the same crew. Carjacking, kidnapping, armed robbery, shootings, home invasions committed by the drug-rich gang is what they're called anyway. So, it's not like Ridley just unfortunately probably lives in an area that they targeted or whatever. But these dudes are bad human beings. So anyway,
wow,
yeah, that one's
doesn't pay to be a rich famous athlete, huh?
Okay. Latest, Jeremy Fowler from ESPN. The Eagles are releasing Deon Cain. Had a strong preseason, so he will have options, according to Fowler, which we all saw. It's a shame he didn't have a great last game, but all in all, he had a good camp. Certainly worthy of being on an NFL roster somewhere.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
So I think he will be grabbed up. But that's the latest. So we're getting a couple surprises, trickling in here. But guess what? There's going to be more to come here. No question. There's got to be more to come. No question. And I don't think Howie's roster is set yet. I don't either. They're sitting back behind closed doors now, watching players fall by the wayside and all these other teams. How much do we have left under the cap? Can we do this one for at least 1 year? I guarantee you Howie's sitting there right now. He's still wheeling and dealing. I tell you, that man doesn't sleep. No, not this time of year. No. He just hangs upside down and recharges. You got to be ready 24/7 now, man.
You say he hangs upside down, dog?
Yeah, that's rough. That's a little rough.
No, I'm serious, man. He don't have time to sleep, man. Anybody wheeling and dealing like Howie? That man doesn't have time to sleep.
Oh my goodness, no. You can't sleep, man. He's trying to build a squad, man. He's trying to build a championship squad, and that's what it takes. I'm very surprised that he was able to get CJ. What's his name? CJ
Gardner Johnson. Yeah.
Gardner Johnson. Because that's a good pickup for him. A really good pickup for him. So as we go forward, man, there's a lot of high expectations now. Now it's time to see. I hate that we have to wait until next week.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I hate
the game should be this Sunday.
Right.
Stupid Labor Day. No, I'm kidding. But no, it really should be. Like it's to have to wait another 12 days wherever we are at this point is look, at least we're looking at a real game now. Now we're in. I know next week we'll get more into sort of Detroit mode and what that matchup looks like and all that. Right now we're dealing with what this roster is going to look like. But yeah, Barrett, I agree with you. I mean, having the one less preseason game, not that it would have been anything anyway, but at least if there would have been a game Thursday, it's something. I guess it just pacifies you a little bit more than this. At least we get some heavy duty college football coming.
Exactly.
I can't wait. You have a game this week?
Yeah, I got a game this weekend. BYU at South Florida.
Okay.
This is gonna be a good game. BYU blew them out last year. Well, they kept it kind of. They came back and was kind of close towards the end, but you could tell BYU was a better team at that time. But South Florida went and got some really good athletes. That transfer portal is turning to free agency. Kids are just leaving and going.
What it is?
Oh, you're yelling at me. Oh, I'm going. I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere else.
You know what it is, Barrett? It's that, and it's also who's going to give me the best NIL deal.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go to like Miami because Miami there's more options. Or I'm just giving you an example. It could be any of the big schools, but I'm gonna go there because I'm gonna get paid better than I would at Kansas State. No offense to Kansas State, but you know what I'm saying,
right? Exactly.
So that's unfortunately that's and look, good for the players. Get as much. I don't begrudge people money. Trust me when I tell you that, but it hurts the teams they're leaving in these circumstances.
I wish I had that when I was in college, man, because. Bro, I was so poor. I didn't have a pot to piss in or where to throw it out. I was eating hamburger helper with no hamburger in it. It was horrible there, man. Oodles and noodles. I remember we used to go out on Tuesdays. Tuesdays was hamburger days at McDonald's. You get 39-cent hamburgers. So I go buy $5 worth of hamburgers, then go to Aldi's and buy some cheese from there. This cheese was you couldn't even put on and make them cheeseburgers. You couldn't even melt the cheese. The cheese wouldn't even melt, bro.
It was the same. Yeah, it was the same exact way before you even put it on the
and
oven.
We didn't have a microwave, so I'd have to put it in the oven. So I put it on top of the oven. It didn't melt at all. It would just get brown.
You're like, should I really eat this thing that my oven can't even melt? Like, what's it going to do to my insides?
It was horrible, man. Horrible, bro.
Oh my God.
That's nasty, man.
Bro, we used to go to the liquor store and we get Stag beer. Stag beer was $4.35 a case.
Right.
Okay, talking about rock gut. Oh man, it was horrible, bro. You
goodness.
drank that stuff, but hey, man, like I said, I didn't have much. From there, I mean, I was in a position where I was thinking about I could have went in the first round, bro. I really could have went in the first round if I hadn't, because what I would do.
Hadn't eaten that cheese.
No, not even the cheese though. It wasn't that I was eating the cheese. It was more so that Friday mornings before the game I played on Saturdays, I would go give blood. I'd give a pint of blood. They said, you're not even supposed to be to walk around, you're supposed to be lightheaded and everything else. My dumb behind would go out there, give blood so I can have $20 for the weekend and then go play a game the next day.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And we had 3 places we could go, and you could only get it once a month. So I'd alternate all 3 places. So I was like doing it every single week during the season.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
That's crazy, man.
All right, so another casualty here. The name that we butchered maybe 1,000 different ways and times.
Marlon?
Andre. Go ahead.
Chesseray
is bye-bye.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
that's not a surprise either. He had a rough preseason.
Yeah, he was a good special teamer, but you're right, Derek. He did not distinguish himself for sure. So all right. So we continue with the NFL. Mitch Trubisky is taking first team reps at Steelers practice. It looks like he's going to be the guy week 1 for them.
Trubisky, you kind of do that.
That's a safe decision to make because of his NFL experience. And you know what? He got lambasted in Chicago for what he didn't do, but he's not a bad quarterback. He's an okay quarterback.
Yeah. And
for right now, if everything you're hearing about this Kenny Pickett is true, all he's doing is holding down the huddle until they feel Pickett is ready to take over. And then all of a sudden, Pittsburgh will be owned by Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
For Trubisky's sake, he better come out gunning. That's for sure if he wants to keep the job at least for this year.
Oh, yeah. Like this is an old
this day's
school.
a number.
Yeah. Like you got to perform or you're sitting down, dude. Like
this is what football is all about, man.
Yeah.
Football.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing. I mean, not for him, but for everybody else watching it. Sansa, we're getting people asking in the chat. Yes, Blankenship is still here right now. He has not been cut as of right now. You guys think he makes it? We got about an hour and a half till the.
I'm leaning towards him making it.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Well, I mean, they don't have any other safety, so I mean, it's almost by default that he has to make it.
Yeah,
him and Kayvon Wallace. I think Kayvon Wallace makes it now because they let Harris go.
Kayvon's fortunate. Kayvon should thank his lucky stars if he makes it. He didn't help himself. He didn't help himself this spring.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But then again, knowing Howie, if there's somebody out there, Kayvon could be getting his walking papers. I'm telling you, it's not over yet by any stretch of the imagination.
Look, I don't think anything's a lock. I mean, he could make 3 trades between now and 4 o'clock, and that could change the total outlook of how you construct this roster.
Well,
right.
I still don't know if I believe that they're going to trade Jalen Reagor. I still don't believe that. I don't believe that it's going to come to fruition right now. To me, it just I can't see them getting the worth that he wants for him.
I'm just trying to think like
what worth? What's his worth? What's his worth?
Yet to be
I'd say it's a 7th rounder. I'd say 1 7th rounder.
6, 7, something
That's
like
what
that.
I said. Yeah, a low draft pick for him.
You know what? I'm not even going to say a 6 or 7. I'm saying I would actually say a 5th or a 6th. They're going to want a 5th or 6th for him.
That high? A 5?
Yes. Oh, no question. He's a first rounder. You can't look at him from his performance. You got to look at him from where he was picked, where he was slotted.
But in this game, you're looking at what's his productivity? Is he worth a 4th or 5th round pick based on productivity? No,
not even close.
No,
not even close.
I think they would be really thrilled just to get out from under the cap that they take at this point.
Absolutely.
Meaning if somebody took them off their hands. Yeah,
absolutely.
You'll get Derek, I've always maintained like he's the only way he's out of here is if he gets traded. They're not cutting him.
They're not going to cut him, no.
Okay.
Which means he'll be here. He'll be here.
We'll
Nobody's going to give up anything for him.
Yeah.
What are they going to give up? Why would they give up something for him?
Why would you keep it? Why would you let him take up a roster spot if you could use it for some other young player who has potential?
He's still a thorn in Howie's side.
Howie's had many thorns in his side.
But it's festering, bro. It's festering.
It's not like this is the first thorn he's had on his side that he's had to let go. JJ Arcega-Whiteside was a thorn in his side. Is he here now?
He just traded him this year.
Okay, but I'm saying,
and he was a second rounder.
Listen, the Arcega-Whiteside trade worked its way into getting our guy from the Saints. By the way, you know that one of those picks they got back was wheeled in the Umo Udodi, deal. That he in part got you in a roundabout way. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, CGJ.
Oh snap!
That's crazy, man.
What's the matter, guy?
Nothing. Oh
no!
No.
I thought you had some. I thought you were seeing something that was breaking here. No.
So
we're trying to keep you updated as much as possible. What we're getting here is as much information as quickly as it comes down. Yeah, it's amazing. You have so many different sources reporting these things, right? And giving you, all right, this guy's gone, that guy's gone. But yeah, I mean, they're just that we've learned of late. Jack Anderson, Deon Cain, and Shasharay. I mean, all of those guys easily could have made this team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very easily.
And they probably made the team last year. They would have made the team last year.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that tells you a lot about how good this roster is and how deep it is.
It's competitive.
That's for sure. All right. So you don't want to go anywhere because when we come back, we'll get a little bit into Jimmy G's restructure of his contract. But when we come back, in addition to everything else we're doing with birthdays, etc., Derek Gunn's going to sing. Okay? We still don't know what song. We don't know what song. But yeah, we got to our quotient.
It's over 429 likes today, man.
I hear 454.
And then my daughter Tina, who's working, who never has time to watch this show, I saw her pop up. She even hit the like button today. I got to talk to her when I get off this show.
Thank you, Tina.
I got to talk to her. That's family betrayal at its finest right there.
Yes. Well, why don't we do this? Let's do Jimmy G's restructure before we get a timeout.
Cool.
This comes down yesterday after our show, and we find out that he is going to be sticking around. So the way this is going to work, he's basically guaranteed this year is the way that they restructured this. On face, it looks like 1 year, $6.5 million. However, he could reach all kinds of bonuses where he gets about 16-ish from depending on how much he plays. They also throw a no trade and a tag clause in there. Now, the no trade, from what we're hearing, could very easily on Jimmy G's side be waived if a good contender loses their quarterback, where he may just say, all right, we'll waive it, guys. You can trade me. So that may still happen. How do you guys read this? Do you read this as we're still not sold on Trey Lance completely? We want to have the ultimate insurance policy if this guy gets hurt. Where do you fall on either side of that scale?
I'm going to go with the former of the two. I'm going to go with they just haven't seen enough out of Trey Lance to make that decision. I talked to a lot of guys that, like I said, that I know and I'm cool with, that saying he has done nothing to show that he should be a starting quarterback for us. And I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? Well, he just hasn't done anything. He has done nothing spectacular. He has not showed that he commands the offense. He has not done anything that's game breaking from an athletic intangible standpoint. So I mean,
100%.
He's just stuck right now. They're stuck.
It's the perfect insurance policy for the 49ers. You know, anytime you turn over the reins to a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback, there's always a little skepticism as to how quickly they will get acclimated. And especially when you have a team that's currently built the way the 49ers are built, a team that's built to compete right now, to slug it out with the Rams right now for the division title and to possibly meet them again in the playoffs. You need as many weapons as you can possibly have at your disposal. We all agree that Jimmy Garoppolo is a great manager of the offense in that Kyle Shanahan system. You know, he's 5-2. His playoff record is 5-2. When push comes to shove, if Trey Lance doesn't pan out, you don't want to have to go to some guy who's even more untested than a Trey Lance. You already have a guy that has a proven track record. Now, is Garoppolo a great quarterback? No, but he's a good quarterback. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. All you have to do is keep the train moving in the right direction for us to be successful. That's what Jimmy Garoppolo is. So the fact that they got him on this $6.5 million firm base salary contract with incentives that could escalate to $16 million for now, that's a lot of money for a backup quarterback, but it's bargain basement money for a potential starting quarterback again. So I would say yes. I think it's a great move by the 49ers to keep him in the fold for right now.
I love it. I think it's a great move. I think it provides insurance if Lance isn't ready yet, and it provides insurance if he gets hurt. And if you're really trying to win a Super Bowl, which the 49ers are at that point, there's no build up anymore. Like they've come up short they've got to a Super Bowl. They've gotten, won some playoff games, all that kind of thing. They're in sort of like the Eagles. They're in win it now mode. Are you spending a lot of money on that position? Yes. But how many times have we seen a team's season be over if their starting quarterback goes down? You don't feel like your season's over if Garoppolo steps in there.
Exactly.
So I actually like it.
Exactly.
Bro, in all actuality, I think they're saving their season by bringing him there. I mean, this might be a sloppy mess come midway through the season because, you got guys in the locker room that know that Jimmy G can, pull them out of the depths of whatever they're going to be at that time. Mm-hmm. And they'll become a better team instantly if he comes in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right.
The Texans are cutting veteran Marlon Mack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot left in that tank.
Yeah, nothing that makes me say, "Wow, get him here now."
Right.
No. So you already got a couple of Marlon Macks on your roster.
Right. Well, Marlon Mack, his tenure was best when he was with Indy.
Yes.
So
yeah. If the Texans have a really good young running back, the kid Pierce, but if they're letting him go and they don't want that kind of depth, I wonder how much he's got left in the tank, for sure. All right, so as I mentioned, we'll come back. Derek is going to be singing. We'll do some birthdays. We'll hit some other Eagles notes that we haven't gotten to yet, and we'll kind of jump around a little bit. I'll give you on this date as well. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network.